Hello and welcome to Business Matters, a program produced by the Middlesex West Chamber of Commerce in conjunction with ActonTV. I'm your host, Jonathan Kerr, the Executive Director of the Middlesex West Chamber of Commerce. Business Matters is a program which features chamber members and highlights information important to businesses in Middlesex community. And here today, I'm with Travis Miner of Open Door Education. How do you do today?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm appreciating the warmer weather we had this week.
Me too.
We'll see how that goes.
Well, it lasts.
Coming up, yeah, exactly, in the next couple of weeks. But Open Door Education, what does that do? What do we do here?
So Open Door is a small tutoring and testing firm, and in short, we help students succeed. We work with students from grade 6 up through seniors in high school and some adult learners, helping them either in the classroom to get ready for tests, to understand content, to be better organized, and then also we help them with the test prep side of things. So if they're taking the SAT, the ACT, SSAT, ISEE, the whole batch of tests that are out there can be awfully intimidating and challenging, and we help students to navigate those.
Oh, okay. And so how did you end up starting the organization then?
So I started tutoring out of the back room of the house that my wife and I live in here in Acton, and slowly over time started to build that practice. And then I partnered with Matt McNicholas and Aaron Webb, who were running a really similar business over in Boxborough, and we were very like-minded, and we had similar goals and most importantly similar values. We partnered up in 2013, and that's when we moved into our first location in Acton Center. Okay. And we've started growing the team from there.
Okay, so and now you have a second location that just opened up, and that's in Concord, right?
We just opened a location in Concord Center that we are super excited about. For a number of reasons. The opportunity to grow is exciting, and also convenience. One of the things that's really important about the work that we do is that we're engaging with students and their curriculum, which means it's really important that we know and understand the context that they're coming from and are able to engage with their experience at a particular school. So having a location in Acton puts us in a good position to really help students who are coming from AB. And in Concord Center, we can better serve students in Concord and surrounding towns. And also it means people don't have to deal with the Rotary at 5 o'clock, which is the worst.
Yeah, no question there. So do you work more with the executive function aspects and preparation and study habits and that sort of stuff? Or are you actually, more directly related to a subject as far as tutoring, or those kind of things? Or is it a combination?
Great question. The core of our work deals with the content, the student's comprehension, and it may mean, for example, in math, helping a student with a topic that's been challenging. They need to look at it from a different angle and also have the opportunity to get some direct feedback as they're doing problems and have that real one-on-one support as they're building their understanding of that concept. On the test prep side, formulating strategy, providing appropriate practice, and also, in many cases, going back and teaching how do commas work and when do you use a semicolon and things like that. Right. Executive function is something that we help students with as part of a larger process, and if a student is specifically struggling with executive functioning, then we generally refer them to someone in our network who specifically works with students on that.
Okay, so it sounds like you have a lot of opportunities there for quite a wide range. I mean, you've said who is part of Open Door as far as running the organization, and you've mentioned 6th grade through high school and then some adult as well. Can you tell me a little more about that? Like how would an adult fit into this, as far as what they're getting out of it, that sort of thing?
Absolutely. So in many cases, it's somebody who might be applying for graduate school and needs to take the LSAT or the GRE, so sort of returning to standardized testing after many years of not having to deal with it. And people who are at different places in their lives, that makes up a relatively small portion of our business. It's largely high school, and one of the things that allows us to really cover the range from 6th grade through 12th grade in terms of the actual content in the curriculum is the really fantastic team that we have. Our tutors have really wonderfully diverse backgrounds, from former principals, former scientists, some tutors who have recently graduated from or are in graduate school. And it allows us to find the right pairing, because really that's the most important part.
Right.
The students working with someone they know, like, and trust throughout this process. And by working with someone who knows the content and also someone they connect with on a personal level, I think we're able to have a really great impact, and that having a team that allows us to find the right fit for each student is one of the most important parts of how we do business.
Right. So yeah, I mean, a lot of it obviously centers around that 6 to, high school age aspect and all that. What do parents need to know about testing, that sort of stuff?
I'm glad you asked, because there is so much misinformation out there. There are so many anecdotes from students and teachers and parents who, many are giving really good advice from 5 years ago,
Right.
because the landscape has changed quite a bit recently. And one of the biggest decisions families are now making when it comes to college admissions, should the student take the SAT or the ACT? And it's really important for families to know that at least for United States schools, schools that require testing will accept either the SAT or the ACT. And so families don't need to worry about which test should I take for this university.
Okay.
Instead, it is purely a matter of which test is a better fit for this particular student, and focusing on doing one test, doing it as well as possible, as opposed to trying to juggle 2 tests simultaneously.
Right.
One of our goals is to, first and foremost, help students and families choose the right test. And then once they've chosen the right test, one of the most important things we do is help students to get the scores that they need and to be done with testing as soon as possible, because we are not advocates for the standardized tests themselves, but instead seek to help students get through this process,
Right.
get what they need out of it, and move on to the other parts of college admissions that are exciting and fun and personal.
Right. Yep.
So the most important thing for families to know up front, they can take either test. It's worth doing the due diligence to determine which test is the best fit, and then do one thing, do it well, and also recognize that students are at really different places in terms of maturity when it comes to, junior year to senior year.
Right.
The student who comes in on day one may feel like an entirely different person than that student who in the fall of senior year is sending off their applications. And that may mean that a student takes a test once early on to get some baseline, to have had that experience and normalize it a little bit. And then they take a long break and come back for one last test
Right.
in the fall of senior year, when they may find that being more mature, being invested in the process in a different way, and being ready to do the work for themselves really sets them up for success.
Right. Part of it is as a reality hits them heading into adulthood,
Absolutely.
how much of a difference that can make. But it's interesting you mentioned that, because just thinking in my own life how much the SAT is changed even recently. I ran a youth center for a while, and you'd hear a lot about this.
Totally.
It went from just these simple, not simple being relative, but math and English, and then all of a sudden it was an essay involved, and it was kind of an open-end essay. And now it sounds like it's gone back to, they kind of give you a subject to write about, and it just seems to be perpetually changing. And then with colleges being more open to the ACTs, is that it? The ACTs?
The ACTs,
okay.
yes.
Yeah, and back when I was doing that in the 80s, nobody knew what that was. There were like 6 colleges or something. And now it sounds like, it's you can go either direction on that.
And that's a big change, and a lot of parents find it difficult to first accept that you really could do just this test and have all of the same options available as if you took the SAT or took both of them.
Wow. All right. So how does Open Door help families navigate this kind of testing and everything else? It sounds like you're mentoring them as much as anything about whether to do this one or not. Do you have a process for that, or is it really just building the relationship and getting to know the student and then figuring it out from there? Or?
It's for many families, it's as with all things in personalized work, it varies from case to case, but a very typical process for a family would be that they would come in for an initial diagnostic test, and in many cases the student would take a diagnostic SAT and ACT, and we offer those for free at our office pretty much every Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, okay.
A student would come in, take the test. Within about 3 or 4 days, they'll get a full report that goes over not only what happened score-wise, but what types of questions were toughest for them, so that then we can sit down with the family, hold the results of the 2 tests side by side, and help them to make an informed decision that's based in part on the data that we have from the test. And also, and this is really important, we're engaging the student in the conversation. What was their experience like with this test? It may be that they scored a little higher on the ACT, but the time pressure in the reading section was really unpleasant for them. That's important information, and that guides our choice as well. Once we've decided which test to take, then it's a matter of saying, what test date are we shooting for? And backwards from there, when's going to be the right time to start? And usually a student would then be paired with one of our tutors and work with that one person who would guide them through the entirety of the process from their first session right up through test day. Along the way, they'd take a practice test or two to be able to sort of road test the strategies that we're working on. And it's important to us that we're looking at data with the student as we go to say what's working, what's not, and helping them to really hone in on the work that they can do that will make the biggest difference, not just busy work, but the stuff that will really challenge and push them.
Wow, I mean, it sounds great. It sounds like a much more of a relationship going on there than just, you know, the coming in and getting stuck at a desk, you know, with one person that says, now here's how you do math, and, you know, that sort of thing. There's definitely a lot more, you know, and certainly I think for youth that helps with their comfort levels and everything else, and that I'm sure trickles down to how they perform in a test. So,
absolutely.
Right. So besides the new location, anything new you want to tell us about? And, you know,
one thing that we're really excited about incorporating more and more into our practice is recognizing the experience of taking the test, and that a student can know all of the content on the test. They can do a number of practice tests, but sometimes they'll have this experience of sitting in the testing center and all of a sudden it hits them. This is real. Like, this is the actual test that we've been talking about and thinking about for ages, and here it is. And one of the things that we're doing is working with students to provide some guidance around little exercises they can do, often grounded in mindfulness, to center themselves, to acknowledge this is how I'm feeling in this moment, and to have something to actively do about it, that a student knows, if and when I start to feel this way on test day, this is how I respond, so that then they can settle in, do the work, and also feel that they've gained a tool that will help them in stressful situations going forward. So that's something we're really excited to integrate more and more into our work. We're starting to do a free night before the SAT yoga class to like de-stress and get kids in the right state of mind, and really just acknowledge that it's not a fun process. It's a standardized test, and it can be a really dehumanizing experience. And we want to make sure that we're recognizing what it's like for the student and helping them to be equipped both for the test and for the experience of being a test taker.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to learn all about open door education. And we'll be back after a short break where we go to Periwinkle Glass and Artwork, and we look forward to seeing you after that. Thank you.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back. We're here at Periwinkle Art and Glassworks in West Acton with Judy. And I'd like for you to tell us, how did Periwinkle come about? What's the story there?
Well, I started doing stained glass on my own as a hobby about 35 years ago, and was just doing some small things for gifts and for a few of the gift shops in the area that I was living in. And I started teaching other people how to do it. And when I had my kids, I stopped for a while, and then when they got old enough, I started working with them a little bit. And I taught them how to do it, and then I taught their friends how to do it, and I thought, this might be something that I could actually teach other people. So I started teaching out of my house, and it got to be a little much having people come to the house and you know, during dinner time, during homework time. So I looked at finding another space. So I ended up finding the location across the street from where we are now, which we outgrew in a couple of years, thankfully. I started off having studio space for myself, and then I opened it to other artists, thinking I'd have 4 or 5 other artists to show their stuff and to sell their stuff in my space. And we have 103 now.
103 galleried artists now?
103 artists in the gallery,
wow.
yes. So, and the nice thing is that all but maybe 4 or 5 of them are within a 20-mile radius of the store. So
very localized.
Everybody is
then.
very local, yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
and it looks like you cover just about everything. There's a multitude of options here. Yeah. Certainly making for a great place to get gifts. You know, I think of Mother's Day coming up.
Mother's Day coming up, yes. We just did very well for Valentine's Day.
Oh, good.
The winter holidays were great as well. Christmas was fabulous. So we had it's been a great experience.
So covering the range, you see everything from obviously glassworks.
Yes.
There's paintings, there's canvas work as well. It looks like
there's a lot. We have a lot of pottery, a lot of glass, all different kinds of glass. We have stained glass, fused glass, lamp worked glass. We have some glass, you know, thrown glass bowls, pottery, felting, just about any medium you can think of we have.
How do you find your artists to do the?
Initially, I would go, when I first started the shop almost 5 years ago now, I would go to craft fairs and I would look for people that I thought fit what I wanted to have in the shop. And I would ask them, invite them to come, and they would come and look at the place and say yes, you know, they'll take a chance, they'll come and try it out. And now it's at the point where people come, we actually have a waiting list for people to
I bet,
have
with
their
103
work.
already.
So we've moved to a larger space. We're doing a lot more education type things. One of the things that we're trying to do now is have the artists in the store that have their work in the store teach classes.
Oh, okay.
So
excellent.
when we do like the kids camp that we're doing now is actually taught by artists that are in the store. So it's the things that they actually have here, they're teaching the kids how to do.
Wow, so they can actually see it in real life, so to speak,
exactly,
as well as
and
say,
then
here
use
I'm
that
gonna
as an
do
inspiration.
So are the programs, is this a new thing for you? You know, something you've started up?
The educational part of it is, for me, I always taught stained glass, and then I added on fused glass. So that was part of it for me that was always there. The teaching was the crux of the business. When you walked in the front door of my former space, as soon as you walked in the door, there was a work table there, and somebody was always doing a project. So as soon as you walked in, you were immersed in the art. And so now we've moved our work tables to the back of the space because we needed more of the space. So about half of the area that we have now is used for classroom space.
Alrighty. And so is this, what age groups do you work with as far as
we've had kids as young as 3.
Oh wow,
we do like mosaics, little stepping stone type things with them, and we've had grandparents. So we've had whole families come that have been, you know, encompassed a couple of generations, and they come as a family. They work on one project together, or they'll do a mosaic together, or they'll each do an individual project. We have people now that have been with us from the first year that we opened. They come back every year now to do something at the holidays or do something at Thanksgiving. So
I think that's pretty unique offering because I can't think of anywhere else where you can go in with 3 generations worth and work on something together. So it looks like you have a youth camp running right now during the break.
We do.
And you'll probably be doing that in April break as well.
Yes, we are.
Over the summer.
We just started that last summer. We tried to get our, thought we'd get our feet wet and see what would happen. So we didn't really advertise anywhere. It was kind of a word of mouth, which is how I've done most of my advertising. But we started off with I think 4 kids in the first camp, and then it was 6 kids, and now today we have 12.
Wow. Okay.
So that's really good.
Getting some exponential
but we're kind
growth.
of at our capacity now with 12 kids. It's a lot to handle everybody. But we have 2 projects going simultaneously, so that they can work on one and then move to another. So they keep busy all the time.
Right. So do you think, how are you doing as far as space? It looks like you could even expand even more.
That would be really nice. But this is where every time a new artist comes in, we find room to put their things. So, for example, the dogs that we have in the front window weren't here yesterday.
Okay.
So, and we had, the window was full of stuff. So, but as soon as the dogs came in, we said, oh, we have to have those, and we made room. So
Right.
you just kind of, and every time you move things, everything looks fresh.
Right.
So people have a new
That's true,
experience every
yeah.
time they come in. So.
Well, I think it's a great offering for Acton because there's not a whole lot of, you know, gift shop-ish type things. I mean, of course, you
Yeah.
have a couple of the bigger chains, but
Yes,
I
yeah.
really love that, you know, this is incorporating the local artists and getting them
Yes,
out there
yep.
because it's so hard to get your, you know, your materials into places or your
Right,
work
exactly,
into places and
exactly.
all that.
And we also do a lot of classes for grown-ups as well. We have Girls' Night Out, which is extraordinarily popular. You know, you come with a group of your friends and you actually go home with a finished stained glass piece
Okay, so-
at the end of the night. So that's been our focus, you know, from 4 years ago. We did the Girls' Nights Out right from the get-go. But now we're filling up. We used to do them just on Fridays, and now we do them on Tuesday night,
Oh, wow.
Thursday night, Friday night, Sunday afternoons. Whenever people can get a group of people together, they come in and they do something. So those are primarily stained glass and fused glass.
Wow.
But we've recently expanded into offering more. We have more guest artists come in to do
Okay.
like silk marbling or oil painting. What did we have the other day? We've had a little bit of flame work.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so we've really expanded, you know, all the different things that we do. We have jewelry making. So yeah,
Wow.
a little bit of everything.
A
So
lot
we're trying
going
to yes. So we have a new calendar coming out
Okay.
that will have our new class schedule for spring and summer that will include the summer camps, but also adult classes as well.
Do you have a website that people
We
can go
do.
to?
We
Okay.
do. The website is sorely in need of some assistance, but I'm better about posting things on Facebook.
Right, okay,
but-
so Facebook page you can
everything
find.
is, yes, on our Facebook page. Everything is posted there every time I have a class or every time something's happening. We take a picture and post it on Facebook.
Right.
We advertise. That's how most of our advertising is
Okay.
actually done on social media. The website is a work in progress.
So I think your Facebook is Periwinkle Glassworks.
Yes.
Is that correct?
yeah,
Okay.
Periwinkle
So people
Glassworks,
can then
yeah,
find that.
yeah.
Well, excellent.
So,
It's
yes.
been great to be here and see all what you
thank
have
you.
going on and your
Yeah, we
support
love it
for
here. Yeah.
local community and all that.
It's a very happy place. You can't come in and leave not happy.
Right.
So we
Right.
have a lot of people that just come in to visit, which is wonderful because then they think, you know, later on down the line when they need a gift, even at the last minute, it's like, oh,
Right.
I can go to
Yeah.
Periwinkle and grab
Exactly.
something. So yeah, so it's been great.
Well, thank you, Judy, for having us here. And just so people know, where are you located specifically?
We
So-
are at 586 Mass Ave in West Acton Village.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching Business Matters. If you'd like to learn more about Chamber of Commerce, please check us out at www.mwcoc.com. And we will lead out with some of our footage from the annual meeting. And also be aware, we have our awards gala coming up in April on the 25th. So make sure you find out information about that as well. Thank you.
As incoming president, I was thinking about what I would like to say to you this afternoon. And I kept getting this recurring theme in my head. I teased John a little bit about it last week, and he teased me back and told me the end of the story. But it says the vision of William Wallace on horseback near the end of the movie Braveheart. You know the scene. He's got his face all painted in blue, and he's addressing about 2,000 Scottish rebels. You remember it? That's the vision I have in my head of being the president of the chamber. Maybe it's not quite that way, though. Maybe the president of the chamber isn't quite as theatrical as the scene that I imagined. But like William Wallace, the Guardian of Scotland, he was the leader of that nation. And like that leader, the role of president is a role of leadership. And I take that very seriously. So in this coming year, I look forward to working with John Kerr, who just came on last September. He's been doing a great job so far. Jolene Trotta, our events coordinator, and the entire board to ensure that we continue this success as the premier organization in this business community in our 8-town region.
We're here with Jeff Turcott, a commercial lender with the Workers Credit Union, also the new president of the Middlesex West Chamber of Commerce. How excited are you to be the new president?
Excited, nervous, optimistic. Really, this is a great chamber. I was introduced to this chamber almost 10 years ago, and have made an awful lot of friends. And when I looked out this afternoon and saw all my friends in the audience, that's really what it was about. So this is a great organization, supports local businesses in our 8-town region, and I think it's integral.
Tell us about, you're new to the Chamber, and what changes have you maybe thought that you brought about here at the Chamber? You're doing a great job.
Well, thank you so much. One of the big things I'm trying to do is get more chamber interaction within membership. It's one of my goals is to go on and have people, if you're thinking of a service or you're thinking of even retail, look to our membership first and try and work within our own membership so that we keep the club rolling. That's an important aspect of it.
And networking is so important. You do so many events, like this event today, the annual luncheon. You have an annual dinner gala coming up. Tell us about that.
Yeah, the awards ceremony is coming up in April 25th, and that's where we hand out awards to any number of businesses. You can nominate a business, whether it's the best business of the year or up and rising business star, any number of categories. And you can go to the Chamber website to find that information. It's posted there. And we'll have an awards gala where those people are presented with awards. And we're also doing the scholarship fundraising at that point. So we have a 50-50 raffle going on right now. You can buy tickets for that, and the winner will be picked that night at the awards ceremony. And then we also will have a raffle and a silent auction the night of the awards as well to help fund the scholarships we're giving out to the local high schools.
And if people want more information, you can visit mwcoc.com, of course. And speaking of the website is completely revamped. It's so much more user-friendly. Tell us about that.
Well, we wanted exactly that. We wanted something a little more user-friendly, a little more professional-looking, and a little bit, newer color scheme and trying to get in with the times. So it's very easy to go there. You can just see what kind of businesses are in the area. We have our membership directory. For members, they can go and log on, and it's almost like a Facebook page for them as well. They can also post member-to-member deals or hot deals, so they can kind of do that inside, club, working together and having, things for each other that might be a discount for a service or even retail aspect. So
it's such a great way to network your business. And speaking of networking your business, we had a gentleman that was presenting from massvacations.com, which businesses can go on their website for free, list their services. Tell us about his presentation tonight.
That's correct. So he did a walkthrough of the website. It's very easy to navigate, massvacations.com. Anybody can go on their company and set up a business. They can kind of create their own web page, which shows what they do and all that. They can also, more importantly, post a lot of things to calendar events. And there's a lot of variations to those calendar event kind of things. So if you want to specify, you're doing, let's say, an Easter brunch at your hotel or something like that, you could do that and would then get on the kind of the Easter bandwagon for that when that time comes along. Valentine's Day was mentioned as well. There's also just a general interest, if you're doing ski aspects or if you're a microbrewery and you're trying to get on the microbrewery tour. I know that people are starting to do those now and are just going around to different microbrews to try and catch them all. It's almost like Pokemon. And you can set yourself up for that and, even events that you're having because there's a lot of the, the brew fests and those sort of things. So there's a lot of potential there. And I think they did a good job of presenting it. And you can just go on their site and I think a lot of it is easily walked through and you can figure it out on your own. And if you go to the Mass Office of Transportation and Tourism, they have more information there as well. So
excellent. Remember, it's massvacations.com. If you want more information about the Chamber, it's mwcoc.com. You can see Jonathan's show, which I was like a host for a little while in the interim. Business Matters on ActonTV. You can watch all the shows at actontv.org. Jonathan, thank you so much for talking to us today.
And thank you so much for all that you guys do for us. You've been a great supporter of the Chamber, and the Business Matters show is a great addition for us, and we appreciate all of your help and look forward to continuing to work with you. So thank you.